Here we are, another episode of...
You done with all your little breathing exercises and your whole getting ready for the show? I never saw you do that whole thing before.
I do it every show.
That's how
nice
much I
deep
pay
breath,
attention
and we
to you.
start. Welcome.
Before we even started, our guest was being entertaining, pretending to order food, because obviously he plays off the fact that he's overweight. Meanwhile, when he walked in, it was like a solar eclipse when he walked past the lights. So maybe he's got a point there, but I'm not looking over at him until you introduce us.
Welcome to Stand Up Memories. Jackie the Joke Man Martling. I'm Peter Bales, and our guest is so terrific. Good friend.
That's you. That's you.
Tugboat Manny Erias is here, and he's a terrific comedian who started...
Well, that's not what I call him. I call him Manny Chins. I'm sure everybody's made that joke, but I've never been one to shy away from jokes that have been made many times.
Now, Manny started comedy at a certain comedy school. I forget the name of it. Jackie gets irritated when I work these...
shoot me.
Stand-up
shoot me in the foot so I can die slowly. Maybe
Stand-up
I'll get infected and then it'll go through my body.
StandUpUniversity.com. And do we produce comedians? Yes, we do, because we have one right here. Now, Manny is a terrific...
Now, I will add to this. If I remember right, I think we did a big charity show, the three of us. It was wonderful for Orchestra Farms, and we thank all the people that came out. But I think when I met him, he mentioned he took your class.
Yes, he did.
6 times.
He did.
Which is just, not to beat down your class, but that's an indication of the effectiveness of Professor Bales' course.
Thank you.
Take it 6 times, which
Thank
means
you.
if it costs $40, he got you for $290 or whatever times $640. I don't know. I do comedy. I don't do math.
He had actually a coupon on Groupon, I believe. Jackie.
Was that a fat joke?
No.
Oh, okay.
Can we get to our guest? Manny.
Hi, Manny.
This
Hi,
is
Jackie.
Jackie Martling.
Hi, Jackie.
We did a terrific show.
We did a great show and had a great time with
And Manny helped us out for Orchestra Farms for adults with special needs. And thank you, Manny, for doing that. But
Thank
let's
you.
just start at the beginning. Manny, a Navy veteran.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I was in the back room. I could not hear the microphone. I assume that's in your act.
Yeah, I'm a former naval reservist, and I served during the Gulf War era.
Were you a SEAL? Well, I guess at your size, you would have been a walrus.
Yes, I was part of
That was
Walrus.
such a bad joke.
That is...
Yes, I was part of Walrus Team 7. We did a lot of secret missions at buffets.
Tuscaloosa.
There you go. And he was a member of a crew.
I was being rude. Where did you serve? Did you say Iraq?
No, I never went overseas. I served here in Chicago, in Pennsylvania, Orlando, and San Diego.
All of which
I would
were
say he
and Tampa.
served,
very
and he was served.
dangerous
Yes.
places during the Gulf War.
Yeah, like
Orlando?
Well, this actually happened. John Mulrooney was at Governor's one time.
That's a well-known comedian, John Mulrooney.
Very good friend.
Hilarious. And his joke was, he goes, ever since Hurricane Sandy, we look at the beach a different way. And I was the only one that was laughing when he said that. And he goes, that's not funny, you sick F. And I'm like, holy cow. And then later on in the show, he goes, he serves overseas for our troops. And he goes, matter of fact, are there any veterans here? And I raise my hand and he goes, is that sick F again? And he goes, when did you serve? And I said, during the Gulf War. And he said, where? And I said, Tampa, Florida.
Good laugh, right?
Yeah. It was a true story.
Yeah. So listen, you were also on the crew of a tugboat
Yes.
in New York Harbor.
Yes.
Did you like that life?
Yeah, it's a very unique, like stand-up comedy. It's very unique.
Wait, this was part of your service, or this was a job you had?
No, this was a job, being a merchant mariner. After, probably about 10 years ago.
Now, when I was a Cub Scout, somebody's father in our den, the den was the smallest group of Cub Scouts. There was the pack, and somebody in our den their father or their uncle had a connection, and our whole little pack spent a couple hours on a tugboat. That is a little thing.
Yes, yes, it is. And
Weren't you in the way?
Totally, totally, totally. And it was, I got to tell you,
That had to be really, not making a joke, really hard work.
it
Monstrous ropes and...
yeah, it can be very physical, but it can also be very boring because you have to go from New York Harbor all the way up to Boston Harbor. So you have, they say there's there's a lot of time with moments of sheer terror. Like when they're like, all right, tighten that line, and you pull the line, all of a sudden you pop, and then you're like, yeah, and the line jumps, and you're like, I mean, that's happened, and it has killed people out there.
What goes pop?
You know, the line will pop off the bit, or
And come up and hit you?
yeah, it's bounced up.
Because those ropes, if I remember, the ropes are like yay. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
I'm used to making that size with me.
Now,
But yeah, go ahead, Peter.
so you liked it, but it ultimately didn't work out.
Yes.
And he addresses this in his act. I mean,
Yeah.
you were ultimately fired.
I would guess that Tugboat Manny would address in his act having worked on a tugboat. That just
Absolutely.
Wow.
And he tells the truth. You were fired from the tugboat.
Yeah, I got fired from the tugboat.
Why?
Well, I wasn't part of the actually the hard work of bringing the ships in and out of the harbor. They hired me. It was an all-female crew, and they hired me as a pole dancer. And Jackie, the reason why.
hold on, I'm trying to picture it. That's beautiful. That's
Yes.
beautiful.
And the reason why I got fired.
Now, how could they find 8 blind women to work?
That's going in my act.
It already did.
And I got fired because I broke the pole. Yeah.
I didn't even let him finish the joke.
Yeah.
Jeez,
No,
I'm sorry.
I think we might have to change. We can see. We could do a
A
little.
pole dancer on a tugboat.
Yeah. It was
I
exciting.
got to put that into artificial intelligence and watch my computer explode.
You know, when you go tugboating, you don't go home. Like sometimes you go home for the day. You know, if you're in a day boat, or if you're in a harbor where you got a ship that comes in once in a while or something. But when I went tugboating, when I started, I went for 2 weeks at a time, and then you would be off for 2 weeks at a time.
But it's so there's a place to sleep on those things?
Yeah, very tight.
Like a hammock?
Yeah, very. It's very tight quarters. There's like 2 bunks in a room. Captain has his own room. Chief mate has his
I will
own room.
pay you decent money for a picture of you sleeping in a hammock. Wow.
It was awesome.
Didn't we have another line about why you were fired from the tugboat? Because you're supposed to blow the whistle.
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, and it also.
He's trying to lead you into
I
your
am.
act.
Yes, he's trying to. Yes. And well, it turns out you're supposed to blow the whistle, the horn before you hit the other ship.
Not after.
Details.
Who knew
Details.
that? Who knew that? You know. And but actually, it's because he brings that up. They got the kills that go around Staten Island, right? The fresh kills, and that's, you know, like when they say the fresh kills, you know, like they have that dump that used to be there that they opened up when 9/11 happened, and that's where they took all 9/11 over there and they sifted through everything. You could see it. It's very.
Way to bring
sad.
down the show,
Yeah,
man.
no, I didn't mean to, but I.
I'm 75 years old, and I've been reading maps and talked about New York and looked at stuff in New York. To this day, I have no idea what the kill is. The fresh kills.
Arthur Kill Van Cole. You have to look it up. We'll
So
go.
it's named after a person?
No,
Yeah, yes.
that's Dutch, by the way, and you have Dutch in your roots. You should know
You
about
have
that.
Dutch in your roots.
You guys are like a married couple. This
We
is
are,
great.
I know.
So I'm on the boat my second 2 weeks. You know, what did I do before? I worked in hospitals and I worked in restaurants waiting tables. You know, and all
And
of
at
a
what
sudden,
point you say, enough of this, I want to work on a tugboat?
well, I went to my aunt's and uncle's 50th anniversary, and my my cousin from Exxon came in. He goes, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Great. I work at Stony Brook Hospital and I transport patients to the CAT scan. He goes, you want to work on a tugboat? I go, sure. All of a sudden I showed up on a tugboat and I was like, what the heck did I get into?
Oh boy.
And my second hitch, they call it a hitch, the captain, I go up to see the captain, we're going through the kills, and he goes, can you steer the boat? He goes, just aim straight ahead. He goes, I just got to go downstairs to the bathroom. I was only on for 14 days. This is like my 15th day on the boat. He goes,
Not only that, you're on a boat with a captain that calls it the bathroom instead of the head. So he must have been pretty new.
Well, I think he did say head, but you're right.
But you didn't want to leave us out of the conversation, so you dumbed it down.
Yes, exactly.
I told you, you said he wasn't a gentleman.
Yeah, I did.
So, soon as he left, there was a problem. Like
you were steering.
Exactly. So all of a sudden, I slow it up and then I hit the throttle.
And is this like one of these wheels?
No, it's a little joystick. It's like a video game, and they have one on each side of the boat, port and starboard. And I'm like, I hit it, and then all of a sudden the boat moved. I'm like, I should have just left it the way it was. It was fine. And then all of a sudden, people come flying up, and the boat's tilting to one side, doing a U-turn in the kills now. We're doing a U-turn on a tugboat. Waves are coming
Meanwhile, while the boat's doing this, the captain's standing downstairs peeing all over his shoes, right?
So the day man came up, and he goes, damn, Manny be steering the boat. And then all of a sudden, the captain came up with his pants doing, he's like, I got it. I'm like, I never did this. It was crazy.
Wow. But you enjoyed it while you were doing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We also.
Now, is this an Army, Navy, or is this like a commercial tugboat?
Yeah, it's a commercial tugboat. Yeah. With the Port Jeff Ferry, they're owned by McAllister Tugs. Mm-hmm. I think they have Moran Tugs. They have KC.
But what is in their function to guide huge ships in the harbor?
Yes, you do that. Work in harbor. When you work in the harbor, it's very dangerous because you're moving ships in and out. You're also lightering ships. You're moving barges. Because those ships need potable water. When they come to shore.
They need potable water.
Yep.
That probably means deep enough water.
Yeah.
Potable water.
No, that's for drinking.
Right. Potable water is for your bong.
Yes. So potable water.
Now you got me smiling.
So you have to load the ships up with the cruise ships and all this stuff. They need fuel. Right. They need food. So they need people to transport this.
Gotcha.
All the tugboats do this. And then they move the ships
around.
So
you tug a barge, a barge out to the ship with all the stuff.
Yes.
So you did that for a while, but you've done a lot else.
So you're like Uber Eats on a huge.
Pretty much, it's just like that. They order something, and then you have to deliver it, and then you turn around. Sometimes you pick it up. Like one time we left New York, and we went all the way down past Florida, up into around the Gulf, up into the Mississippi River, all the way up there. And then we thought when we were coming out, we were going to do crew change in Tampa. And I came down. I came back in from the stern, and the captain, we're coming out the Mississippi, the Delta over there. And the captain goes, we got to take her back to New York. The office just said. So instead of getting off in 2 or 3 days, we were getting off in like 12 more days or 10 more days. And the one captain on the boat goes like this. He goes, I don't have enough medicine. And we're all sitting there, and you freak out on the boat. Like you can't wait to get off. And he's like, I don't have enough medicine. And he goes, I got to get off the boat. If I don't take my medicine, I'll die. And we all we started laughing because we're freaking out. Yeah. But he had no choice.
Well, that's a fun story.
Yeah.
Now get to the comedy.
And they were only looking for Staten Island, too.
So were you already a comic when you were a tugboat?
No. I lost my job, unfortunately, because I hurt myself in the heat down in Texas. I had some sort of heat episode, and I didn't know what happened, so I lost my job.
So you got so woozy
Yeah.
that you took Peter Bales' course.
That's
Pretty
it.
much.
Pretty
You
much.
didn't know,
Yeah.
you didn't know what you were doing.
Pretty much. And what happened was I went to a comedy fundraiser, and his buddy, Rich Walker, was on the show and had me laughing so hard. And after the show, he told me he taught a comedy class, and the people I was with said, Manny, why don't you do it? And I was at like the lowest point in my life. And
Well, you bring that up. I want to.
I don't think you should say you were at Rich Walker's show and it was the lowest point of your life. I mean, it might not have been a trip to the loo.
Well, he was upset because there were no refunds.
Oh,
Now, but you've done a lot of things. You've been fired before. He mentioned you were working at Stony Brook Hospital.
yeah, well,
Now, why were you fired from there?
yeah, well,
you realize you're not helping his comedy career with you, unless you're leaving him.
I'm leading him into a bit.
well, I actually volunteered at Stony Brook Hospital.
Okay.
And and they told me and one time I gave somebody a shave prep before surgery, and they said, and I got in trouble, and they said, Manny, you're supposed to be working in the gift shop.
That's funny.
I was waiting for it to be that he shaved the girl or something.
You know what?
No.
If you want to hear one of my new favorite ones, which Peter taught me, and Peter taught me the fine art of stand-up comedy, and I am so proud you are one of my mentors. And I just performed with another mentor of mine this past weekend, Richie Minervini.
Richie Minervini,
and Richie,
Long Island comedian.
Richie loves this joke too, and it's a set up, punch, right?
Do
Peter?
it.
And and I went to the doctor.
You went to the doctor.
And the nurse asked me for my height and weight, and I said I'm 5'10", and then she said, "And how tall are you?"
After you started your act the other night, as I was walking past the door, I heard you say that, and I laughed out loud.
Did you really?
That's a very, very funny joke.
Thank you.
Joke.
That might be one of with the formula that Peter taught me. He taught me a formula. It's like math. Like we joke and laugh about it, and very well, bing, 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 and he taught me that. And I went to the doctor 2 days in a row, and if I didn't go to the doctor 2 days in a row, I never would have had that joke. My jokes are truth and pains of life, which Peter taught me. And I went to the doctor.
Peter has had a lot of pain.
I have.
Yes.
Not as much as his audience.
Yeah.
Now, Manny is, one of the things I admire about you is you're
So after 2 trips, why didn't you go back to the doctor a 3rd time so you get another joke? Right?
Because then I would have 2 jokes, and then all the comedians would be out of work,
Now, one of the things about Manny,
And Minervini would have a couple extra jokes.
one of the things about Manny is he's very upfront, and I admire you for this.
Yeah.
And he addresses it in his act.
Yeah.
You have had mental issues.
Yes.
And
He's here, isn't he?
He's here. But he talks about it on stage, which is a very, very healthy thing to do.
What kind of mental issues? Did you get zapped or anything like that?
No, not yet.
Did you drool on yourself?
No. Just
Jackie,
and,
thank you for being so enlightened.
yeah, no.
So what kind of mental issues?
Anxiety, depression. There's one.
So nothing serious.
No, I mean, and my psychiatrist just upgraded me to just below bipolar. And I told her that's crazy because I'm not even cold. So
I'm glad I didn't interrupt you. That's
yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I talk about that. I talk about.
Well, I'm still working on upgraded you.
Yes.
When you go from a mental issue to
Another
bipolar, is that a graduation?
It is.
It's
You
the next
actually get a
level.
ceremony. I had to stand in front of the refrigerator. My mom had me take a picture, and she said, and she took it to work. It's on her desk. She put it on her desk. Look at my son. He just upgraded to bipolar. She couldn't be any more happier.
I can't. How did they manage to catch you by the refrigerator?
Oh, it's,
He got you on that one.
yes, yes. But Peter told me the more vulnerable that I am, the better that my comedy will be.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
sometimes I say, I'll tell you, by the way, my portion of your show is brought to you by Prozac. And Peter knows my act is true with a twist.
Yes, that's exactly what you do, is you take your real life, exaggerate and twist when you're writing as a comedian.
So were you already a comic when you started with depression and anxiety? I mean, were you already taking...
I've had that, I've been dealing with it for years. So it's weird. It's like, so sometimes you don't even want to come out of your room. Sometimes you don't even want to get out of bed.
And you know, we all have dealt, and I'm not even being funny, I took Lexapro for a long time, and I could have sex, but I couldn't finish. And I said, I want to finish. I will trade being depressed.
Right. Yeah.
For you know, Lexapro. Oh yeah.
Right.
And then
I would just like to say to our audience that
I'm not.
home.
This wasn't going anywhere. So
No, it's a lot of information.
This is going back 12 years or so. The last time I had sex, but that was back then. You know.
Yeah. No,
Well, but comedy can help you.
You don't understand. Thursday, I was on stage at La Bussola with Richie Minervini and Eric Half, all because of Darcy Novick. 100 people. I got to host a show, do 15 minutes, and you know, I forget about everything that's going on, you know, and I forget about my mental health. And then Friday and Saturday I was with Richie and Richie Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday in improv class. And then you called me and said, hey, Manny, Jackie and I would love to have you here, you know. And
so you're on a roll.
And then tonight I'm performing at Carnival Pizza.
Carnival Pizza, baby.
But I love it.
Carnival Pizza?
They have a comedy show, and he's on it.
Yeah.
Where is Carnival Pizza?
It's in Port Jeff Station. John Butera hosts it.
Yeah.
And I'm from Stony Brook
Oh,
area.
it's not a carnival.
No, it's not a carnival. It's a pizza place called Carnival Pizza. But they have comedy. He's doing it. And what is happening here is doing stand-up comedy is helping somebody with mental issues. And he talks about it in his act. And it's just terrific.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on. He is not there for his mental issues. He's there for the pizza.
Perhaps.
Call a spade, if I can say that.
Perhaps. Now, we must mention Project 9 Line.
Yeah.
Manny does comedy classes for veterans, some of whom are suffering from PTSD.
Yes.
And uses the teaching of stand-up comedy to help them heal.
What's the title of it?
It's called Project 9 Line. It's based out of Islip.
I thought you said Project Nylon, and I thought
9 Line. Project 9
Project
Line.
9, the number 9 in line.org.
And Manny has invited me. I've done some guest teaching out there.
That's great. I hail you for that.
They get their sets prepared. They do a live show. And what you do with those veterans, Manny, is really terrific.
Thank you. And it's so awesome. Peter, thank you for coming down. You're the one that taught me. And basically, I took your class and
And now he teaches. Now he teaches a class.
I teach what I learned. You taught me, and I teach what I learned from you, and I teach what I learned on my own. And I don't know everything. I tell them that. And there's people that just come to the first class that are really suffering mentally or substance abuse, and they're afraid to get up on just in front of the veterans, in front of two people. And they can't do it.
It's great working with vets.
And at the end, the one guy, he goes, I'll come up. I don't force them to do anything. And then they perform in the showcase. And Peter performed in the showcase, and you killed. But how awesome was that showcase?
It was awesome.
Oh,
making the vets laugh is always a great thing. I've done a lot of shows.
And having them, yes, you have.
You know,
people don't know that about Jackie.
I went to Iraq, you know. And
really? Very much respect.
Did like 12 shows in 10 days, and it was spectacular. But it's like so much more than you can relate to people. People, oh, that's nice that you went and did that. But it's unreal what it does for you. Like, I didn't know at the time when we got there, I had no idea. The soldiers over there, there's no drinking. They're fighting a war and there's no drinking, there's no nothing. And you do a show like I did Camp Liberty and Camp Freedom or whatever they were. I was with this guy, Bo Bice, who's a phenomenal musician with his band. And you do a show for 500 people. And then when it's done, you sit to sign autographs. All 500 of them get in line to talk to you and take pictures and sign. And they are so effervescent about how excited. I mean, it's like overload, you know.
Jackie, and Peter, I'm telling you, just like Peter knows, I envisioned performing at Westbury, and it happened on Long Island. That's on my bucket list to do that, and I want to do that so bad.
You would not believe. I've talked about this on the show too many times. You wouldn't believe what I had to go through to get to go there.
I believe
they didn't want me because my act had dirty jokes. These guys are over there getting their heads blown off, their arms blown off, watching their friends get blown to bits, and they can't hear a dick joke that I learned in 3rd grade in the parking lot. And finally I went, circuitous is not even the word, but what's his face? Who's Lieutenant Dan? Gary Sinise was responsible for getting me to go and audition in Nashville. It was like, and then I went over there. Oh, this is the best thing we ever saw.
Yeah.
Like, it's the red tape is unbelievable.
All right. Now we ended on a good feeling, didn't we? That is nice.
Yeah.
That is just nice, Manny. I always say this, but it's true. We only scratched the surface. We got to have more time with Manny in the future.
Are they cutting us off? I didn't even see him hold up the 5, or were they giving me the finger?
It might have been the finger.
Okay.
Thank you for having me. I
Manny, Tugboat.
Yes.
Because that's part of his.
We'll absolutely have you again.
Tugboat Manny Erias.
Yeah.
And you are so funny and so nice. And keep working with the vets, man.
I would like you to go on Tinder or one of the. Are you married?
I'm single.
I want you to go on Tinder or Bumblebee or one of those things. Get yourself a date, and the next time you're on the show, bring a date.
Okay.
I think it can only be fun.
Where did that come from?
I just got a creative idea. I thought it'd be really fun.
Well, I'm open-minded.
How about the next time Minervini comes here, we bring him here?
I don't think you should be dating Minervini.
No. Richie Minervini basically started live comedy on Long Island. Those of you watching from afar, let me bring you up to date on that. Now,
I had a slight bit of help with that.
Yeah,
seeing as it was my amplifier and speakers and microphone.
It was Jackie's equipment. So let's.
And I closed every show with 40 minutes of
Jackie
jokes.
was involved. Let's be clear.
I had something to do with it.
Okay. Manny Erias, Tugboat Manny, thank you so
I'm
much.
Just breaking balls.
I know you are. I know.
And you can come here with Richie, but I just texted Richie the other day because I found out he's in town doing a show with you. I'm like, why wouldn't you tell me that you're in town? You know,
I gotta say this. That would be funny, actually, if Manny brought a date.
And that,
yeah, because him and Minervini ain't fitting on that couch together.
All right.
So you agree? You're agreeing with me.
I think that could be very funny.
Like you, Peter, Richie, and you are my mentors in comedy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're the best.
Much respect.
All right.
And Jackie.
You might want to rethink your. No, but get yourself a date.
Thank you, Manny, for coming on.
Thank you.
Jackie, the joke man, Martling has been here.
Now, if you're a girl on Tinder, what do you do if you see Tugboat Manny?
You find out more because it's a curious name.
That's exactly what I was hoping you would
say. And I'm Peter Bales. See you next time on Stand Up Memories.
See you next Tugboat. That was a pretty good episode.
A new episode every Wednesday with me, Peter Bales, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, comedians, interesting people. Leave a comment. We're gonna get what am I saying?
I don't know.
We're gonna get back to you. We will respond to your comment.
Standupmemories.com. If you go there, it shows all the different
All
platforms.
Spotify, we're on everything.
Every Wednesday.
Stand Up Memories.
Every Wednesday.
A new episode.